What's up, everyone? Let me give it one more minute. Let me let some other folks give it a chance to let some other folks pour in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna get started at 7:01. All right, cool. So let's get started. Good morning, everyone. So glad you were able to make it to the pre-market prep where I cover Tesla specifically. All right. So a lot of activity happening in the marketplace today, and I'm going to quickly go over that. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the live chat or DM me your questions. If you have to drop during this live session, no worries. Just DM me if you would like the replay, and I will send you a link so that you can watch the replay at your leisure, at your convenience. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Tesla. Man, it's crazy. At the start, of this live, we were down 0.79%. 0.79%. We're still down in the pre-market, currently holding at 306 and change. Yesterday, we closed at 308 and change. All right. Tesla had quite a drop. All right. Quite a drop. Over $10. Over $10. All right. And man, is that crazy? So take a look at this. Take a look at this. Look at this drop. I mean, we were on the move. This was Thursday, July 24th. So this was last week, right? This was last week, Thursday. And we were on the move. We were on the move. And then Monday, we dropped. Friday, look at Thursday, man. This is crazy. I mean, Tesla was in free fall like the whole day. And so here we are now holding 306.10. I'd like to see us hold this 300 level because if you see here, remember I said if you missed any of the previous live sessions, no worry. Let me explain something simply for those of you who are new to trading stock options and you're trying to figure out how to draw out these key levels. Um, and it's simple. It's very simple. I'm going to explain this very simply, right? You look left, see what the stock has done before. This is true for any stock that you may be interested in trading. I primarily focus on Tesla, so I'm using Tesla in this example. But you look left and you see what the stock has done previously. You check for old highs and old lows. And if we do that, I'm on the 15-minute time frame within tradingview.com. Tradingview.com for those who want to follow along. Tradingview.com for those of you who want to follow along. I'm on the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. That means every candle on this time frame is 15 minutes in duration. All right. So to draw out these key levels is very simple. You look left and see what the stock has done previously. You check for old highs, old lows. If we're looking for old lows in this scenario, we can see that currently in today's pre-market, this is where we are. This is where we are. If we look left, You can see that Friday's pre-market, right? Friday's pre-market, this is where we were. And then Thursday's lows, this is where we are. So we have multiple touches here. So this will be an ideal key level to mark out. So if you're completely new to charting and analyzing these stocks and you want to get started trading stock options, you simply look left. I'm not going to overcomplicate this. You simply look left, see what the stock has done, and you can mark out old highs, old lows. All right, very, very simple. So since we touched this point, this is a nice point here. So if we look further left, you can see we have another point here that we used as support. And then we have another touch here that we used as resistance. So we can mark out this level here. This is a level we can mark out. I have the pre-market low marked out here, so I'm not going to draw out a new level because we haven't broken below 300 just yet. We're actually using 300 as support. You can see here now, if I zoom in for the pre-market today, we are using this pricing zone as support, and we're starting to make our way higher. All right. So let's talk about this. What am I looking for? Well, I'm not expecting to trade today. I'm going to wait until next week to actually make any new trades this month. Excuse me, not the month of August. We just started August today, so we are in a new month. But last month for July, which ended yesterday, right? I ended the month. Uh, in green, almost 5,000. So 4.9K, 4.9K. So I'm done for the week. I'm going to catch up on some errands or some tasks that are overdue. But what I am looking for today, I will be taking a peek throughout the day to look for longer term positions. And this is ideal. I talked about this in previous sessions. As a stock options trader, we don't care what direction the stock moves, whether it moves up or down. We don't care. We can make money either way. But this is ideal. This is ideal. We like this activity, right? We want the stock to fall because just like anything else, right? We wait for the discount. We wait for prices to drop, and then that's when we buy. You know, if you're going grocery shopping or going to going shopping for clothes, who wouldn't mind paying less? All right, who wouldn't mind paying less? All right, so we don't want to pay for retail if we don't have to. So this is ideal. I like this. I like this. And so the next condition to consider buying these longer term positions is we want to wait to see if buyers at this point are going to continue to hold and maintain this pricing zone and continue to push the price higher. Well, so far in the pre-market, it looks like buyers are doing just that. Let me zoom in here a little bit more so you all can see this and pull this up here. It looks like buyers are doing just that. We'll have to wait and see into the open. Once the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. But this is what we're looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So we had this significant drop all the way down to 301 and change. And it looks like buyers are going to hold this level. So at the open, I'll give it the between the first 5 minutes and 15 minutes and see if buyers continue to push the price higher. At which point, I will look to enter a position, a more longer term position. So might be 1 week out, it might be 1 month out. So it just depends. But I'm definitely looking to enter a longer term position and capture those gains toward the upside. All right. Because as you can see, for example, if I bring this back down again, If I bring this back down again, you can see that. Let me activate my drawing tool. All right, you can see that this is an example of what I'm looking for, right? After this significant drop, you want to make sure that buyers are going to step in and continue to push the price higher. Um, they did begin, right? Buyers did begin to push the price higher here on Thursday, but we failed in the pre-market. So, what would be the ideal entry? And now you have to keep in mind a couple of things, and I'll go over that here in a second. But this is what I'm looking for. I am looking for buyers to step in and looking for that indication that they're going to continue to step in to push the price higher. But you also have to keep in mind that overnight, holding positions overnight, news could drop, anything could happen in terms of a tweet. Like we're dealing with Tesla here. So a tweet. What is going on? I apologize, everyone. Give me just a moment. I don't know. For some reason, they restricted my live. I'm not really sure why they did that. All right. Anyway, so you can see that buyers did step in here at this point. This is what I'm looking for. But again, holding positions overnight, anything could happen, right? News could drop. Elon could tweet some, tweet against, Trump. They could continue that spat again. Anything could happen, right? So you want to be mindful of that when entering these longer term positions, especially at the start. You have to account for zero, right? You have to take into consideration that if you enter such positions, you are risking the entire position. So only my suggestion would be, if it's me, I would only take a position that I'm willing to walk away from. So whether that's $100, $500, $1,000, it doesn't matter what the amount is. It just has to be an amount that you're willing to walk away from completely if the stock completely turns the opposite direction and erases your entire position. All right. So you want to account for that. But this is what I'm looking for. So what I might look to enter a position more, this would be considered an aggressive entry point here because we're right at the turn of this downtrend, right? We're right at the turn of this downtrend. So this would be an aggressive entry point here. I like these, especially for Tesla. I've been watching Tesla for over a year because when Tesla does these, when this type of activity happens, right, when we have this aggressive drop, Tesla does these V-shaped recoveries. You can see it'll do that, right? It'll do these V-shaped recoveries like it did here. It'll do these V-shaped recoveries. So I like to enter these positions at the lowest point of the bottom, right? It's low risk. So, but typically I've been doing that during the day trade, so I'm able to monitor it. It's not that I'm entering a position, a longer term position, and sitting in this overnight. So this I haven't done just yet, but I will be looking to do that today. But here's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a push up, in terms of buyers stepping in aggressively to push the price higher. And then I'd like to see the next wave of down close candles. This is the next wave of sellers trying to push the price back down again, right? Because at that point, I want to see if sellers are able to succeed and push the price lower than the lowest point the price was previously. If they don't succeed and buyers happen to step in aggressively and begin to push that price up again, that would be the A plus scenario. Okay, that would be the A plus scenario. This is more high probability, right? So you can see if I zoom in here, sellers try to push the price lower. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you all can see this. Let me move this up and over. All right, so look, you can see after this aggressive push by sellers, right, to push the price lower, this is the lowest point the stock price fell. But After buyers stepped in, sellers stepped in aggressively again to try to, you know, keep that continuation going. But buyers was not having it. Okay, they were not having it. All right, so they stepped in. But notice the lowest point in this wave, in the second wave, on the seller's part, did not reach beyond the previous point. All right, so this is the lowest point the price fell when the sellers were in control, and in that second attempt by sellers, it did not surpass the previous lowest point the price fell previously. Okay, so that's the A plus setup that I would be looking for. And notice this nice aggressive push within this candle here on the part of buyers, right? So this is what I'd be looking for, and this will be an ideal point to enter your position. Obviously, this is a pre-market zone, so you couldn't do that here. You'd have to wait until the open. But coming into the pre-market, looking at this activity, looking left and seeing what it did previously at the open, seeing buyers step in aggressively, which is definitely what you see happening here. This is the good sign, right? This would be a good sign to enter your position. One down close candle before that continuation happened, right? Now look at this. This is a nice trend, right? In 1 to 2 days, 1 to 2 days, 1 to 2 days. So this is what I like, right? So you have this Friday overnight over the weekend. Monday comes, we have this drop, but an aggressive push back higher. And this is the momentum that you want to catch, right? Especially for these longer term positions. That's what I'd like to catch. So we're in that same scenario, right? We had this aggressive drop. Here we are over the week. All right, we reached the highs on Monday, dropped again throughout the week, and here we are Friday. Here we are Friday. Same thing. This was Thursday of last week. This is Friday of this week. All right, so we're in the same scenario. These stocks, you don't have to worry, right? Because they're going to continue to go up and down. That's the market, right? If it only went up, no one would be able to invest. All right, it'd be out of price, it'd be out of range to actually invest. That's not what that's not the goal of the market, right? It's not going to go up, go up, go up continuously. There will it will come back down. So this is what I'm looking for coming into today. Now, what I want to do really quick is check to see if we have any scheduled news that could potentially impact this position. It could impact Tesla. It could also impact the market overall, either positively or negatively. So let's take a quick look at scheduled news. All right, that's scheduled red and orange folder news that could drop, that could positively impact the marketplace or negatively impact the marketplace. Let me pause really quick before I jump over to Forex Factory, and let me see if I miss any questions here. What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Glad to see everyone make it. Island Child Creations, what's up? Naomi, what's up? Mark, what's going on? You said any tips on trading cues? Same thing, right? I don't, I don't trade cues personally. I have traded cues before. My primary target is always Tesla, but I like to use cues to gauge the direction of the market. If you notice, oh man, is my browser failing again? Hold on, give me a second. Let me close my browsers.